The year was 2025, late July. Heat shimmered above asphalt roads. In the small town of Havenwood, life moved at a gentle pace, slow. Children's shouts filled lazy afternoons. They played hide-and-seek among tall oaks. Their shadows danced, long and thin, ice cream trucks chimed. A familiar song this summer felt like all the others, warm, safe, endlessly golden. Old men gathered on park benches. They talked of weather and days gone by. Their voices were soft, like rustling leaves. Women tended gardens, bright with blooms. Roses climbed white picket fences, red, yellow. The scent of freshly cut grass hung heavy, a sweet perfume in the still air. Life was a predictable, comforting rhythm, a gentle hum beneath the summer sky. No one suspected it was ending. The nights were warm, full of stars. Families sat on porches, watching fireflies. Little sparks blinked on, off, magic. Lemonade glasses sweated, cold comfort. Crickets sang their endless chorus, a lullaby. The moon hung like a silver coin, distant, unblinking, watching. It was a time of quiet dreams, a time of simple, unassuming peace, a fragile peace soon to be broken, everyday routines unfolded, unchanged. The milkman made his morning rounds, clink, newspapers landed on dewy lawns, thump, school was out, freedom reigned for a while. The town library was cool and quiet, full of stories waiting to be read. No story imagined what was coming, the extraordinary lurking just beyond sight. Havenwood slept unaware under the stars. The last truly ordinary moments ticked by. One evening, the sky changed, subtly. The usual sunset painted clouds, orange, purple, but something new appeared, high above. Not planes, not meteors, something else. They descended without a sound. Ethereal, like tears shed by distant stars, silent, graceful, unannounced. The townsfolk looked up, puzzled. A hush fell over Havenwood, expectant. The world held its breath, waiting. The visitors were not solid, not quite. They shimmered, like heat haze or dreams, forms of light and shifting colors. They moved with an alien grace, fluid, no harsh angles, no sudden moves. They drifted down towards the town square, landing soft as dandelion fluff. Weightless. Curiosity, not fear, filled the air. People emerged from their homes slowly, drawn by an irresistible, silent call. They were beautiful, impossibly so, beings of pure luminescence, gentle. Their forms pulsed with soft light. Rainbow hues swirled within them. They seemed to emanate peace, a calm. No words were spoken, none needed. Their presence was a question and an answer. Children watched, eyes wide with wonder. Adults stood, mesmerized, speechless. This was not invasion. It felt like revelation. The visitors lingered, for an hour, maybe more. Time seemed to stretch and warp. They observed the humans with what seemed like curiosity. Their light-touched faces, warmly, a silent communion between worlds. Then, as silently as they arrived, they rose, ascending back into the darkened sky, leaving behind a profound silence and awe, and something else, unseen, at first. A subtle change in the very air. The next morning, Havenwood buzzed, not with fear, but with excited whispers. Had anyone else seen them, the lights, the beautiful silent beings from above? Stories were shared, over coffee, over fences. Each retelling added a new layer of wonder. They were angels. Some said, star people, messengers from a gentler place. Perhaps the memory of their glow lingered. Warm, a shared dream, too vivid to deny. No one felt threatened, strangely. The encounter had been too serene, too peaceful. The visitors had offered no menace, only a silent, luminous presence. They had looked upon the town, gently, and the town had looked back, transfixed. It was a meeting of innocence, or so it seemed, a brief intersection of disparate realities. The shared experience bonded the community. They felt special, chosen, touched by magic. Scientists and news crews descended. Days later, they asked questions, took samples, scratched heads. But there was no evidence, nothing tangible, no scorch marks, no alien debris. Only the collective memory of Havenwood, a memory of light and silent grace. The experts were skeptical. Mass hysteria, weather phenomena, but the town knew. They had seen, they had felt. Something extraordinary had graced their ordinary world. The children drew pictures of glowing figures. Their crayons captured the impossible, brightly. They talked of the shine people, happily. Adults found themselves looking skyward, more often hoping for a return. Another glimpse. The world outside Havenwood remained doubtful, but within the town limits, belief held firm, a secret joy, a shared marvel. They felt changed by the encounter, elevated, unaware of the true gift left behind. A week after the visitors departed, it began. Old Mrs. Gable was the first, maybe. She noticed it on her hand while gardening, a faint iridescence on her skin, like a trace of crushed mother-of-pearl. She thought it was pollen or trick of light. She wiped her hand. It remained. Beautiful, a delicate shimmer. That caught the sun. She smiled, admiring its strange beauty. It felt pleasant, warm, almost alive. Soon others saw it, on themselves. A child's cheek, glimmering faintly. A shopkeeper's arm with a pearly sheen. It wasn't a rash. It didn't itch or burn. It was just there. A subtle, lovely glow, like being dusted with invisible diamonds. People pointed and laughed. "In delight, you've got the shimmer!" they'd exclaim. It became a mark of distinction, a novelty, a reminder of the beautiful skyfall. The glimmer, as they called it, spread. Not like a disease, but like a blessing. It appeared on skin, then hair, then clothes. Everything touched by it seemed enhanced. Prettier, dull fabrics gained a subtle sheen. Lustrous, old wood glowed with inner light, softly. The town began to sparkle gently under the sun, under the streetlights. It was enchanting, a fairy tale come true. Havenwood was becoming a town of light. Doctors were consulted out of curiosity. They found nothing wrong, nothing harmful. The shimmer was inert. Part of the skin, it seemed to integrate perfectly, harmlessly. People felt fine, better than fine. Energetic, a strange euphoria accompanied the glimmer. A lightness of being, a quiet joy. It was a gift, surely, from the star visitors. A beautiful, harmless memento of their visit, a token of otherworldly friendship, or so they believed. Section 5. A town aglow, the spreading radiance. The glimmer intensified, day by day. What began as a faint sheen now radiated. People's skin glowed with soft colors, iridescent blues, pinks, pale golds. Their hair shimmered like spun moonlight, and eyes sparkled with an unnatural brilliance. Havenwood transformed into a living kaleidoscope. The ordinary became extraordinary, visibly. Mirrors were consulted often with pleasure. Vanity bloomed alongside the glimmer. Tourists started arriving, drawn by rumors. They came to see the glimmering town. Havenwood embraced its newfound fame proudly. The locals shimmered for all to see. They were beautiful, unique, touched by stars. Festivals were organized to celebrate the glimmer. Parades of glowing people under the night sky. Music played, laughter echoed joyfully. The world watched, fascinated, enchanted by this strange, beautiful phenomenon. Spreading. The glimmer wasn't confined to Havenwood long. It began appearing in neighboring towns, then cities, then across state lines. Carried by visitors, by touch, by air. No one knew how it spread exactly, it just did. Silently, irresistibly, like pollen on a cosmic wind, it traveled. People welcomed it eagerly, covetously. To glimmer was to be beautiful, to be special, a global trend born of starlight. There were no downsides, or so it appeared. The glimmer made everything more vibrant. Food tasted richer, music sounded sweeter, emotions felt deeper, more intense. A collective sense of well-being settled over communities touched by the radiance. It was a golden age of beauty and light. Humanity seemed to be evolving, becoming more luminous, more joyful, more connected, a beautiful transformation. Or so they thought. Section 6. The unsettling radiance, a beauty too bright. Months passed, the glimmer deepened, its beauty became almost overwhelming, intense. The soft sheen was now a dazzling luminescence. People glowed brightly. Day and night, shadows grew faint in their constant light. Sleep became difficult. For some, the world was always illuminated, always bright. A subtle weariness began to creep in. Under the surface of the shimmering joy, a feeling that things were too much. The initial euphoria started to wane slowly, replaced by a strange sort of detachment. People moved as if in a dream, graceful but distant. Conversations grew softer, more sparse. The constant personal glow was isolating. In a way, everyone was a star, shining alone. The novelty was fading. The intensity remained. Some tried to cover the glimmer with clothes, makeup, but it shone through, always, unstoppable, a beauty that could not be hidden or controlled. The glimmer was no longer just on skin. It infused everything, permeated deeply. Plants in gardens shimmered, eerily beautiful. Pets glowed with a soft internal light. Even houses seemed to absorb the radiance. The very fabric of reality felt altered, thinner. The world was breathtaking and unsettling, like a painting too vibrant, too perfect, a beauty that hinted at something fragile, something about to break or dissolve. Scientists continued to study it frantically. They still found no malice, no pathogen. The glimmer seemed to be pure energy, benign. Yet a disquiet grew in their hearts. This was not natural, this level of light, this pervasive, beautiful transformation. It felt like a prelude to something else, something unknown and perhaps unwelcome. The world shimmered, brighter and brighter, oblivious to the edge. It was approaching. Section 7, Dust of Stars, the first fading light. It was young Timmy Henderson who vanished first. He was playing in his yard, glimmering brightly. His laughter echoed, a cheerful, sparkling sound. His mother watched from the window, smiling. She turned away. For a moment, just one, when she looked back, he was gone. Not run off, not hidden, simply gone. Only a faint, sparkling dust remained. On the grass, it swirled gently in the afternoon sun, then dissipated into the shimmering air. Panic was a cold wave. It hit Havenwood hard. Timmy's disappearance was inexplicable, terrifying, the sparkling dust. What did it mean? Other glimmering people felt a new sensation, a faint lightness, a strange translucence. They looked at their hands, shining brighter, but somehow less substantial, less real. The beauty of the glimmer now held a chill, a premonition of an awful truth. The gift was taking something in return. More disappearances followed. Swiftly, an old woman tending her roses, gone. A teenager listening to music, vanished, leaving behind only that shimmering dust, a beautiful, terrible residue. That faded. The glimmer wasn't just a glow, it was a process, a slow, inexorable dissolution into light. The vibrant colors were the hues of decay, a beautiful fading into nothingness. The town's joy curdled into stark horror. The world watched, the enchantment shattered. News reports carried the grim tidings. From Havenwood, the glimmering plague, they called it now. Its beauty was a grotesque mockery, a lie. The initial wonder turned to icy dread. Those who had coveted the glimmer now shrank from it, but it was too late. It was everywhere, spreading, growing brighter, consuming. Humanity had embraced its own beautiful doom, and the end was starting. Section 8. The beautiful decay, when joy turns to ash. The societal breakdown was swift and silent. As the truth of the glimmer became undeniable, governments faltered, then collapsed. Helpless, what defense was there against beautiful dust? Armies could not fight light. Laws could not stop it. Panic was a quiet, pervasive thing, internalized. People shimmered brighter and grew more translucent. Their forms becoming less defined, more ethereal. They were fading before each other's eyes, a slow, luminous erosion of humanity. Families clung together, watching loved ones fade, their bright smiles now tinged with sorrow. The glimmer pulsed, a final, vibrant heartbeat, then a soft sigh, a scattering of stardust. Homes became mausoleums filled with sparkling motes that danced in sunbeams, hauntingly beautiful. There was no screaming, no rioting in most places, just a profound, shimmering sadness, a deep resignation. The world was too beautiful, too strange for rage. Humanity was dissolving, poetically, tragically. Some sought solace in art, in music, creating beauty. Even as they disappeared into it, others simply sat and watched the world glow, waiting for their own turn to become light. The glimmer intensified the senses to the very end. Colors were more vivid, sounds more poignant, life's fleeting moments terribly precious. The air itself seemed to hum with departing souls, a silent symphony of beautiful disintegration. The earth was being cleansed in a shower of sparkles, the once coveted glimmer, now a death sentence. Yet it remained undeniably beautiful, even in horror. Those who were left watched the others go, knowing their time was short, imminent. There was a strange peace in the acceptance the fear had burned out, leaving an echoing quiet. The world was becoming a ghost of itself, populated by fading lights and memories, the final generation of shimmering humans, witnessing the end in all its terrible glory. Section 9. Earth's final gleam, a poetic dissolution. The glimmering plague knew no borders, no prejudice. It swept across continents, across oceans, rich and poor, young and old, all shimmered, all faded into the same sparkling dust. Cities glowed, brighter than ever before, then slowly dimmed. As their inhabitants vanished, skyscrapers stood like luminous tombstones, empty. Roads were silent pathways for swirling, glittering motes. Nature reclaimed its spaces, unhindered, unglimmering, the green earth dusted with human starlight. The last humans watched the stars grow clearer as the artificial lights of civilization died. They saw their reflections in still waters, fading, translucent, beautifully doomed. They were the final embers of a once bright fire. No one was left to record the final moments, no one to mourn or to remember except the universe. Perhaps the ethereal visitors watched from afar, their gift or their curse, reaching its conclusion. Humanity's brief bright candle flickered out. The earth itself seemed to breathe, a sigh of relief or perhaps of sorrow for its lost children. The shimmering dust settled on mountains, in valleys, becoming part of the soil, part of the sea, a subtle, lingering iridescence. In the landscape, a final, beautiful scar on the face of the planet. The glimmer was a cycle of transformation from flesh and blood to light and dust, a return to the cosmos in a blaze of glory, a silent, poignant end to a noisy species. The sun rose on a quiet world. The shimmering was almost gone now. Faint traces, the wind whispered, through empty cities, carrying the last motes of human light towards the indifferent stars from whence it came. Was it a tragedy or a strange kind of ascension? A beautiful apocalypse, a glimmering end? The universe continued, unchanged, uncaring, but for a brief cosmic moment. Humanity had shone, brighter than any star before fading into forever.